welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D collective. To those who are new, you have landed on a podcast where this 5D mystic mentor, content creator, and podcast host has a lot of fun stories and perspectives and also practices and skills involving the inner growth mindset, mindfulness, and mindsight for when our subscription-based model content will be available on YouTube. In the meantime, if you subscribe, paid subscription, to fan base, you'll begin to be able to have access once we have a certain amount of numbers of subscribers with practical video exercises that will involve mindset at the very bare minimum. For one-to-one mentorship, you email me, and to sign up to our future masterclass and spirituality retreats and or workshops, you email me. And it's not immediate, the workshops, retreats, and or masterclass. As for the one-to-one mentorship, we would follow up and stuff like that. Okay, so one thing for sure, people who are part of our lovely 5D collective and anyone who is ready for mindfulness mindsight will have an earned inner securely attached 0, 1-year-old, 3-year-olds. Their child parts are yours, and healthy self-regulation, the very bare minimum, so you can contain emotions and thoughts. So you have not, and you do not disregard your complete and very good mental health professionals. And if there's a need to get securely attached, you have one that you're getting securely attached with. Like we learned from the lady, EMDR, child parts work, somatics, therapist who doesn't box you up. You go on a journey, and the good ones know how to keep you there until integration and to talk and walk you through, and or once it's time, they say, okay, you can add mindset, mindfulness, mindful mindsight, spiritual stuff, and they will let you know. For the collective of spiritual people who ignore mental health, we leave them to, unfortunately, very not pleasant expanding experiences, because they don't move into consciousness and intelligence due to the fact that they will have things happen and they will flip a switch. Like the lady who spreads rumors about yoga bringing demons out of you because she didn't go to therapy or know about Peter Levine and how muscles, bones, and tissues store trauma, and that the yoga is ventral vagal portfolio of toning exercises, as Stephen Porges informs us, and so shit began to come up. And as Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist, has informed us, when people have nightmares after nightmares after nightmares, which is where the mystic community can have that. I don't have nightmares because I'm an inner securely attached mystic. So when I'm doing readings, channeled guidance, when I am even seeing my own past lives, which I've seen a bountiful of, and believe me, some of the stuff I saw was pretty... Somebody else would not have experienced that the same way I did and do, because 4D doesn't have a mental, emotional, and physical, strong, intelligent, conscious body, because they ignore their brain. So their fear receptor goes wonky, as Patrick McNamara specifies, and if you ignore that, eventually it breaks. And then you have people who have psychoses or they have nervous breakdowns, and that's really sad because they don't have to. So there's a lot of good mental health professionals, again, out there. I learn from them. I'm attachment trauma informed, and I do so on purpose because personal development and self-help still involves your body. And so the masterclass, for example, allows me to integrate with our practices your nervous system. It's fun. Anyways, enough about that. Owning your sense of self is also what you have, because you're not a flag in the wind. And so with the inner growth mindset, mindfulness, and mindsight skills that you do put into practice, whether through here or on your own, you are getting to understand how amazing it is to not be affected by any of that which takes place when our lovely, what do we call them? 3 archetypes of existence come about. Okay, so let me read to you. 5D people, as you have been understanding, are self-empowered and confident, or they're growing that, and it's by living mindfully, spiritually, one or and or the other, and or both, and sharing the ventral vagal energy, because you're anchored in and anchoring consistently in ventral. And so consciousness and intelligence is what the 5D mystic spiritual process awakened person and or mindfully living, loving person, because they own the sense of self, is very important. So you don't get peer pressured into anything. You don't change your mind. Your thoughts and feelings are not irrefutable facts. You love to engage with all people. You're Pacha, not Cusco. You don't lie. In fact, you find liars cowards, and unkind people are cowards, and they all disregard going to Patrick Tiahan to reparent their inner child. So whenever somebody makes up an excuse for why they have human suffering still, we know to send them to the Zen master, because they're not taking the opportunity to get their mindset with a good therapist and their nervous system set to be earned in a securely attached, bilaterally integrated, vertically and all over integrated way. So we have playfulness when the destroyer comes around. Why? Because of integration of the brain, bilateral. And so you're able to handle what comes up, thoughts and emotions. The left is thoughts, the emotions come up from the right because you can contain this. Now you're ready for what? Kundalini awakening, for any expanding with Reiki, for example, when you're helping other people, or even expanding your light body. So when I was expanding my light body, the number of times I did, plus the rainbow body, yes, I had panic attacks. You all know this. And right now I'm doing really great. Hopefully I won't come back anymore. Meantime, I have a course where she taught us about this expansion. I never had out-of-body experience, just the regular dissociation, not clinical. So I'm driving down the highway is the example Dr. Daniel Siegel gives, and oh, look, my trip to Hawaii comes to my mind, and I miss my exit. Okay, so I'm playful while things happen, but because I have also these healthy boundaries without needing to talk about it, because I know self-regulation in a self-soothing and in a ventral vagal state, I'm always a creator because my brain doesn't shut down and my right is full of rainbows, while my left is the black and white. And I come together in the prefrontal, in the now. So with my creatorship, even with darkness being there, there's not really darkness, but Shiva does help Kali, my Kali mode, my lovely inner child, to be okay. And then the sustainer keeps moving forward because we know that we are blessed to be people who are fully conscious in our pure consciousness state, which is Purusha, and pure energy state, which is Prakriti. And that's because I have maintained my energy body, my belly body, my heart, my thought. I forget all of them. There was 5. The mind, mental, emotional, physical body, and belly body, and heart body from one of my workshops. And so I have integrity. The maladaptive patterns of behavior, they are cut off. That's why the fancy lady man in suit and people who do drugs, fucking, drinking, drugging, and they have very maladaptive, unhealthy, self-soothing patterns, and then they don't know self-regulation. So human suffering, they'll say, no, it's not an option. And I'll say, well, you can move out of your temporal junction, but it requires your volition. So the big picture is that you claim independence with the plan that Spirit has, Source, Universe, God. Jesus shares with us, the kingdom of God is within your body. Therapists share with you, the good heaven in your body is when you are in a ventral vagal state, which is your mammalian heritage. I know all about it. Okay, so it's when you take care of your inner and outer well-being. So inner securely attached people are going to be navigating at our 5D frequency because they have an inner child that lives. So they know that they're the only ones who can heal, not a Reiki practitioner in the sense of your child parts. Hey, I can work with your energy body, but you want a Patrick Tian to reparent your inner child and your child parts. You want to charge them. When I have a person who owns, now you're loyal to who you are. Now you learn from the past, and that means you're integrating your core self, narrative, relational, and soul self. Now you know how to take the lead. Now you also know how to take my hand when I say I can offer you a whole new world that you deserve because you, like I, deserved as I got it, but you deserve to have that inner child to be able and be completely at ease, even in a complete fetal position. And for the people who don't have earned secure attachment, or they're getting it, basically, this is the hardest step to ask and or allow me to help, which is actually where I find it the most amazing and honorable of someone saying, hey, I trust you to be the beloved that can help me acquire the same essence of the jaguar, because remember, the feminine in the jaguar, she never becomes prey in the Amazon, because the feminine always recognizes, by the way, ego. That's why the empowered feminine doesn't ever cast stones at anyone. And the ones who are not empowered, they're all just consider them masculines who don't own their subconscious. They navigate with it, which is why you have them lost in their Kundalini awakenings and in their 12-karat golden rings and all the readings they do and accurate. They just use all of the ancient stuff and create Elsa mantles. It's completely, anyways, teenagers and their stories. But you, on the other hand, with a person who has finally had the soul retrieval, the true masculine, empowered masculine, which then becomes an empowered feminine. They reclaim their masculinity, femininity, their self. They do become aware, okay, I can have the essence of the jaguar and the essence of the beloved. And they say, will you do me the honor to help me to reclaim that which is true, which is it's not a curse to be in love with you, with being a human. It's not a curse to be alive. And that you can get the wisdom of your own life, because now finally you're grounded in a reality that uses a perspective that knows not right or wrong. It knows that bilateral integration, and that we choose if we want to hone in on a right or wrong. We also can choose to be neutrality and duality and say, okay, we have subjective experiences and perspective, and expand. Okay, so it doesn't get confusing. Once you've learned from your ancestors, you've closed whatever it was that you didn't know, and you remember that the circle of life, like the Lion King, then the father tells him, right? There's always nature balancing itself out. So the lightning strikes and the rattle makes it sound, and the tree of life, and that's you being able to be your own empowered masculine, empowered feminine, and that's consciousness and intelligence. And you have Pachamama, which there's a lot more words that are behind Pachamama, but the essence, again, she is that mother, and she is that restorative embodiment, and she can be God for those of us who learned of God. And now you're a luminous warrior who knows your third eye, you know your entirety, and your real earth keeper who can also join us, the 5D collective, to speak the crow's truth, which is, we'll read the crow so that you can remember the crow. And the truth is not a truth that has been written before. No, it is one that we're already knowing we're building together as a species. And some people don't like it. At the same time, it's not really different from yesterday. It's just expanding to integrate the fact that there's no demons. That there's either people who are expanding consciously and know how to live mindfully and spiritually for some, or not. And they want their threat response. We don't. We anchor in our ventral vagal. The crow is the keeper of universal law, the law of truth. The crow teaches us to walk our talk, to find congruence between who we say we are and who we really know ourselves to be. The Swinged One insists that we speak truth, that we create truth instead of searching for it, and that we bring truth to every situation we find ourselves in. When you speak the truth and practice truth, eventually everything you say becomes true. Your power to co-create with the truth is the universal law. Correct what is untrue in your life without judgment. Let the truth set you free. Be true to your word. Crow arrives just as we have convinced ourselves that what we are doing is right and justified. And while this may be the case in the realm of relative truth, in the higher realm of absolute truth, it is not. Look deeply into your heart and remain alert, lest you convince yourself of something that isn't deeply true for you, or perhaps is not the highest truth. Do not seduce yourself with illusions. Okay, this is when people begin to... let me translate for a minute. Okay, one, truth. Those who think there's something set, please let's remember we have facts, right? So gravity. Truth is where the left brain person who's not using two sides will not like to hear there's more than one truth. They don't agree with that. Okay, so for me, we have facts, we have data. When it comes to truth, when you're feeling life, you're going to have a different way to tell me a story. Okay? Also, I believe in God. Others don't. Okay, so is that truth? So this is why it gets confusing when people use interpretations. I'm going to allow myself to just remind you that the right and justified. So when you have people who won't let go of being able to know you're grounded in reality, when you know what you can say can be falsifiable. So we all have hypotheses, pretty much, but you don't negate those basic foundations. Again, gravity, treating each other with respect, so you don't go up to somebody and behave like an asshole. Okay, so let's not take this too far. And really, if you are a person who's an integrated brain with intelligence, you already understand what I read to you in the parts that are not to be necessarily taken to heart, because that's where there's always people second guessing themselves. At a certain point, you're one with Akash, you're one with Source, however you call it, you're one with that truth of expanding consciousness, that truth of humanity. So the universal laws and what is transforming is something that to my eyes looks the same as yesterday, but I know it's not, because we have grown our humanity. We have more people who know the soul of the world, Anima Mundi, and all that is. And so they accept all and reject none. They know that the soul of the world is in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by a loving cosmic force. Again, dark matter, dark energy, God. We got all the spirituality groups together for the 5D collective. Okay, all the sciences are coming together. Obviously, the sciences is where we will find those data, the quantitative, that will say, okay, this one is yes, this one is no. But at the same time, we have scientists who are saying, I'm going to go disprove reality with AI. So I'm just saying, we have a bunch of people doing a lot of different things. Staying grounded in reality means that you care about getting those 2 hands and 2 feet and building a community. So the best thing we can all do is we stay focused. My voice is for personal development, inner growth, and again, so my focus, I know what my truth is and what I'm sharing, and I'm trying to bring it to you. Somebody else might be engineering or something like that. Okay, so we bond together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied. Embrace. And constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. And that's about it. So let me read a little bit more. And I believe I already shared with you. So again, you have taken the lead. You have learned from the past. You are loyal to who you are and what you want to bring forth. Your inner child lives, so you have that healer. And if you do want somebody to support you, mystic mentor here, okay? But you can be your own mystic too. And you know your own truth, okay? And so it's not something hard for you to live. You understand that you can create easy, early softness with emotion. It's a practice. It's a practice. So thanks to you choosing love and kindness with the authentic self, you are able to handle the 3 archetypes of existence when they visit you. And you're able to stand in that which is an own sense of self. Use your human name and with integrity. And so you move forward while expanding intelligence and consciousness alike together. And the inner growth mindset, mindfulness, and mindsight skills and practices and lifestyle choices of the 5D collective, mystic, and person is what supports a whole own self that doesn't get lost, so you don't lose who you are, that cultivates healthy self-soothing patterns of thoughts and behaviors. That's why you keep working with those thoughts and behaviors, because life always sends you some shit. It's just not shit, but it's going to be stuff. You strengthen your mental, emotional, and physical elasticity, and you anchor in the ventral. And so mindfully and spiritually, or one or the other, living and loving as yourself grows inner and outer well-being, self-empowerment and confidence, and has you using good stress, thanks to restorative embodiment, when unknowns, uncertainties, and unexpecteds in life and relationships hit. So again, some people make it happen. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Michael Jordan, I change it up a little bit. But for practical video exercises that will roll out throughout the year and provide you with inner growth mindset, mindfulness, and mindset practices and skills to use so you can grow confidence and handle change with that good stress, go to Fanbase. And hold on one more moment. Let me think. Was there anything different? Nope. That's it. That's it for now. And we might be back with another episode because love is in the air. Da, 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 da. So the part that I did want to make sure you understand, when you share your ventral vagal energy, not all people welcome it. And so that's actually why I do want to do the episode separate for partners, because some of you, as we've been talking since the new moon, the full moon, the other new moon, it's time. But if you're resisting it, it's because of that fear. But it's like with my panic attacks, baby steps is what I did. In the case of those who are meant to allow themselves to be supported emotionally by a human being who you know is a secure attachment figure without a shadow of a doubt, this is the time, this is the moment. So if you have an inner secure self, you've reparented, you have a good sense of self, you know who is that person that you can completely bring yourself full circle, and you become your own lover. Remember that you can always be your own siren, and that's the unhealthy self-soothing pattern, people. Maladaptive, drugs, fucking, drinking, using time in sluggish ways, becoming that avoidant who gets on screen and tells you she's not going to do anything because all people are fucked up. She's being her own siren. There's no need for her not to do journaling, mindfulness, meditation. There's no need for her not to try to work on getting out of the human suffering. That she is used to that, that's a different story. But in this case, she's her own siren. She's not her lover. And so this is why you will always get the opportunity when you meet a healthy, self-worth, self-soothing, empowered woman, man, or they might they be, a healthy adult life person and relationship person. They will give you that reminder because your body knows you can be this. If you choose this, it's something that the trauma therapists explain why people do it, but it's sad because you don't have to do this. You can do this. So we'll be back again in a little bit with more. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And thank you for sharing your time with me today.